So here's a question for you. Would you be able to point out these places on a map?
No.
Sorry.
Not a chance.
I'm just teasing.
I know. And I honest to God, I can't. I think I know Trondheim. I think I have a pretty good idea. But other than that, I'm sorry. I just have no idea. I know it's, I should have.
This is a thing we chat about. I tease you about that, and I apologize. It's all in good fun about how you say you go into a plane and they just shake you up like a little box, and the plane lands, and you're somewhere else.
And then I walk out, and then I have fun, and then I go in the middle box, and they shake me, and then I'm home again.
Yeah, I think we were on the plane when we were flying to Las Vegas from Norway. Like at one point, I remember poking you, and I said, "Like we're over Canada right now. We're flying over it."
Looked out the window, go, oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Snow, mountains, whatever.
Snow and water and mountains and trees. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Could be Norway.
Could have been Norway.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Merry Christmas episode of the Power Platform Boost podcast, your timely source of news and updates from the world of the Microsoft Power Platform. And I'm here. My name is Nick Dolman. I'm here with my super partner in this venture, Ulrikke Akkerbeck. How are you, Ulrikke?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Great. Feeling Christmassy today in our Christmas shirts.
Yep, I got my Big Nick Energy shirt on. Yeah. And our elves on the shelf snuck into my office at some point. I didn't see them, but they're very curious.
Does that have something to do with your 15-year-old, or is it just something you did for your own sake?
They showed up about 8 or 9 years ago, and they just show up for Christmas, and then after Christmas they disappear. And
wow, that's so strange. It's magical.
It is. And usually they get into some shenanigans here and there, but they've been pretty tame the last few years. But you never know. They're always a surprise. So they're here today.
Oh, that's nice. Very fun. All right. So this episode is going to be a bit different because we're pre-recording, because we want the Christmas holidays, both of us, even though we're going to be working most of the holidays. So, we could have probably recorded this at the normal time. And also, the last time that we did this was during the summer, and we had the release notes. So we pre-recorded because you were a Microsoft employee at the time, and I'm an MVP, so we get access to the release notes a bit early. Now, have you thought about this? The next time the release notes come out, Nick, you're neither an MVP or a Microsoft employee, meaning I can't share the release notes with you early. So we actually have to do that together after it's been released. Have you thought about that?
I haven't thought too much about that. So maybe it's not what keeps me up at night, I don't think. Like, oh shoot, I would have early access to the release notes for all the things that I won't have time to try out.
No, but it's our most popular episode, actually, from last year, wasn't it? Or this year?
Yes, it was. It was also, or this past year, yes. It was also our longest episode, ironically.
What, are you trying to say something?
No.
Do you have a point?
No okay, point at all. Good. Just that there was a lot of stuff in the release notes this past round, so.
Absolutely. And someone couldn't keep to that one favorite of so can't remember who that was.
Like it was just me guilty of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Timekeeper. Right.
But speaking of which, let's look at the year in review. There was, of course, we started this podcast, but there was a lot of stuff, and like every week or every 2 weeks when we did our podcast, there was never any shortage of news and updates to talk about. And as we joke around about the fact that it's going overtime, the fact that we, just to try to stick what are the things that jumped out at us for like 30 minutes was as all of our listeners know, almost next to impossible. But that being said, we had a few favorites this year that came out. Of course, the whole Copilot thing is just massive, and we can't like Copilots and AI is everywhere. It's been talked quite a bit. A lot of exciting stuff. It's still evolving, so I think this is just going to be continue on for the next year. Every 2 weeks, there's going to be a new Copilot or new enhancements to Copilot or new things with AI. And that is just going to be the prevailing story of the year. But I think there was a few other things that came up this year that were, I think, just as important, or maybe not, just kind of had quite a bit of impact as well.
Yeah, can I just say sorry to Copilot, because I feel like we've been critical and we've been so hard on the whole Copilot thing. Maybe because we were a bit Copilot fatigued over the summer and on during the conferences this in September, but really we are excited about it. So I just need to say that out loud for my own sake and for everyone listening, that we love the Copilot. It's all good. You're excited about it, and the age of AI is upon us, and it's no question that this will be a tool for us going forward. It may be a bit overwhelming to begin with, but huge supporters, and of course we use it every day, and whenever we can get our hands on it, really.
Yeah.
So definitely want just to say that. And we're going to talk about the favorite things of the year, our favorite kind of features or things that came up this year. And for me, that's kind of, I don't know, it's late and it's new, but it's Project Sophia. I must say, it's just because of the prospect of what that can be. Not that it's I don't know. It's just, it piques my curiosity. I become curious about that and what that could actually mean for business applications going forward. It's just, something about it.
It has the potential to be a game changer. And I know you did the Boost Quest last week using our new format about that. So that was really interesting to see. And a few other people sort of picked up on that as well. So I mean, it's just still all very new. I knew Steve Mordew had a long conversation with Charles Lamanna. I think we talked about that last week as well on Steve, where Steve just picks up the phone and calls random Microsoft people out of the blue. I don't know. I think it's staged a little bit, but I don't want to give away. I don't know.
Isn't it just like I call you every second week to talk about Power Pages things? Do you know?
Exactly.
It's kind of the same.
Probably exactly the same. I'm sure Charles is looking at Steve should be calling any minute now, and he's waiting by his phone.
Probably it's easy to call him because everyone thinks he's so busy. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of things to do.
Because he's got co-pilots doing all his work.
Exactly, right? No.
So, hard to say.
What's your favorite? Sorry.
No, I was about to say, I having been at Microsoft, I know Charles works very, very hard. I also know Steve works as well. So, hi, Steve. Question. Hi, Charles. I know you're both listening.
We can only hope. I would be flattered.
All right.
So Nick,
my favorite thing.
Do you have a favorite from 2023?
You know what? I think it's maybe not the biggest thing in the world, but the one thing that really jumped out at me was, and I think it had been out before, but it became GA, was the whole solution pipelines in Dataverse.
Oh, yes.
Having spent years exporting solutions, waiting for them to export, doing something else, trying to remember if I exported them or not, and then importing them into a downstream environment, and then thinking, okay, there's got to be a better way. And then, of course, diving into Azure DevOps and setting up those pipelines and everything, which are great. But that's a lot of work to set up all these pieces and all this information. And then also trying to make it easy for customers that, I had a few customers that actually did do their own work on the Power Platform, but, they're not deep into development. They don't even really understand what ALM means. So I'm saying, well, just do your work here in this test environment, this dev environment that I built specifically for you. And for them now to be able to move those solutions across using something like pipelines, and it's been improved. You can run processes before and after. It keeps a copy of the managed solution as well as the unmanaged solution for, that way you could always, if you hose your development environment, you could always recover those solutions. You know, to me, that overall, I think is my favorite thing. It's just, so it's great because now I'll work on something, I'll update something, and I'll just go boop, click the little rocket ship, press a button, and then it just magically shows up. All the steps are taken care of. It magically shows up in my production environment 99% of the time. And it's great.
There are still improvements to be made for sure, and it has a long way to go to reach its full potential. But yes, and I did a talk about how to move Power Pages sites using the Power Platform pipelines in Vegas, and I'm just blown away about how easy it is. And for me, I struggled setting up those Azure pipelines in the past. I think it's a very development heavy thing, or is it? I know it's configurations, but still, it's a lot to wrap your head around if you're not really used to working like that. So for me, it's really enabling me to do it the right way. And in the past, I've had a few glasses of wine moving things for our customers in the past on Saturday nights. So I mean, just pushing a button instead and watching it while I drink wine, it's perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
And having a history of all it's been done as well. Like, just overall, the team has done such a great job on that. Like, kudos to them for building this, and just, it's going to make, like, the whole ALM, it's to the point where it's a no-brainer. And we've talked about this before. I've said in other places, no matter how big or how small the project, there's no excuse not to have at least a dev environment to build and experiment with your stuff and then be able to push it to a production. So that's probably my favorite thing. Do you have another favorite thing at all?
No, I just wanted to kind of tie this into some of the improvements, because I know we're going to talk about what we wish for next. And I know that we're in a live project now where we kind of need something regarding Power Pages and the pipelines, kind of the deployment profiles that we could use with Power Pages in Azure pipelines. That is really something that we are lacking. That's kind of blocking us right now with the new pipelines. So there's still a way to go. And
for sure. Yeah, something like an environment variable, but in context of Power Pages, like site settings and content snippets and those. Yeah, you're right, because I am, I deployed some Power Pages sites using, like, not necessarily using pipelines because there's another Azure DevOps process, but using solutions, which is another thing that came out this year that I really like. But those site settings got overwritten in my downstream environment, so I had to go back in and reconfigure some of the authentication stuff. So looking at a solution, I have a couple ideas of how we can, but it's going to be workarounds until we can get a fix for that. So, but like everything, it's always improving. There's always new stuff coming. And I know that is something the team is looking at. So hoping to see that rectified very soon.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that I really, really loved this year was the managed environment. The ability to set up that custom experience when someone comes into the platform for the first time, being able to hold their hand and kind of direct them to the SharePoint hub, where we have all the information and where they can find who to contact, the heroes and the early adopters of the platform, and just that whole experience with the managed environments. To me, that's also a game changer. And I know that there have been some rumblings in terms of, yes, you have to have all the premium licenses to use it. And I know that there's some, but to me, that's really something that it's very much something we need. And I'm a firm believer that that's the way we have to work going forwards.
It just makes it easier for the folks that are not necessarily pro developers or things like that to get them up in an environment, like their own dev environment, and for administrators to give them a dev environment much easier without them having to figure out how to set it up and everything like that too. So, and also some of the analytics and things that come with managed environments.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
It's taking a lot of that extra stuff that you had to piece together before and putting it in a nice clean package. Nice bow on that Christmas present.
Absolutely. And just that's not on our list, but the admin side and the monitoring side and what's happened with that across the platform, really, in terms of, like you were saying, the analytics and for Power Automate and all of that. that has really been this year. They really invested in that, and we see that that's gonna improve going forward as well. So for the admin and for the governance, it's a whole different ballgame. The platform's completely different in that respect. So and I can't wait to see the investments in that area going forward as well.
Yeah, we keep seeing new stuff pop up all the time. Like I even know in the last couple of weeks, Power Pages has got a whole new dashboard as well for monitoring users and security and things like that. So it's all across the board. Um, I know you just called an audible and something that's not on your list, but something that I'm going to talk about that I liked that I saw this year more in the fall. And it's still very early days, but this whole concept of applied skills assessments
Yeah.
online. So a couple things like this year, I realized I think spending time at Microsoft, I let quite a few of my certifications expire because I'm like, oh, I'm do this job. I don't need these certifications, or laziness or forgetting about it or whatever else. And then I realized, oh shoot, I need to get, in order to get my MCT renewed, to also prove to folks that I do know what I'm sort of talking about, I need to get my certifications updated. So I did PL 900, 200, 600, and I'm going to be writing 400 pretty soon. But these are where, woohoo!
Kudos to you. Oh, good job.
So,
Just wanted to
but this
say.
also means, yeah, so this also means going, I'm a big, like, you can take a look around. There's a whole bunch of crazy crap on the wall and everything in my office. So I can't really do the proctored online exam at my house. I go to the testing center, which is not far. It's like a 10-minute drive. And I go there, I do the exam, and all that's good. The thing is with these exams, you got to study for them. You got to, memorize some concepts, and it's all these multiple choice and things like that. So not a bad way, but it just kind of proves that you're good at reading and retaining information. Where with these new applied skill assessments, there's a whole bunch out there, but there's two specifically for the Power Platform. One's on Power Automate, one's on Canvas apps. I did the Power Automate one, I think about a month and a half ago. It was kind of in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, let me give this a shot. You fire up a virtual machine, you go through the scenarios. You have to actually build Power Automate flows, and they have to work. And then when you kind of hit submit, they'll do the assessment and let you know if you pass or fail. So that worked out well. So yesterday afternoon, it was kind of late in the afternoon, and I saw that there's a new one for Canvas apps. So I'm like, okay, let me try this out. Same thing, fire up the virtual machine, gives you a bunch of scenarios. So I went in and was able to, one was like you had to build a specific Canvas app, and I don't want to give too much away. Don't want to get in any kind of trouble. And then there was a couple other Canvas apps that you had to go and troubleshoot and debug or make some changes to. And then same thing, you hit the assessment button and boom, and I passed that as well. So it's pretty cool because this is all hands on. It's not about memorization. It's really about, hey, can you actually go and do the work? So I'm really hoping to see more of these skill based assessments come out more in 2024. I know there's a whole bunch on the Azure side already. So to me, if I was in the position of hiring somebody or evaluating some new juniors coming up the ranks, I'd probably pay a lot more attention to how well they did on these skill assessments, or were able to go through these skill assessments, as opposed to certification exams, which I still think are important. But this just sort of adds to that, there's the learning, but then proving what you've learned, or proving that you know how to do things. So that's that's one of the other things that I really liked about that came out this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I still haven't done mine. Can't find the time, but I need to. Really, really need to. So yeah, definitely. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem. It'll be a challenge, but I do get it. It's like, with everything, with like, kids and this and that, like my kids now self-cleaning and self-feeding and doing her own thing. It gives me a little bit more time for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no. It's been a busy year, and keeping an eye on time. We wanted to kind of recap the year for us as well, because we have been up to a lot of things. So it's not only the platform that has been keeping us busy with all the updates, but yeah, we have had a busy year. It started off you being judged at ACDC in February. And that's when we met before in person, of course, but that's when we really dug in and really connected. And that's when we planned this. We talked about that before as well, planned the podcast. And it was a good idea during some late night drinks, and it was still a good idea in the morning. So then why not? Right. And so, what other things have you been up to this year?
Okay, well, there was the judging at ACDC, which was a lot of fun, and I am planning. I'm going to be a competitor this year, so it's going to be a different vibe. So it's going to be exciting. And of course, we started this podcast. I mean, I'd done a podcast before, but I think with the podcast with you, we're a lot more structured, a lot more disciplined in terms of our releasing, like every 2 weeks, and we stuck to that schedule. And this whole podcast has been a blast. It's been so much fun. And I just can't wait to continue doing this for years and years and years. So that was cool. In terms of, for a lot of folks know that I do powerlifting for fun. This was the year I became a world medalist. I got bronze in the world bench press championship. It's hard to believe. Thanks. Like 11 years ago.
This is hard to believe.
Well, I think about where I came from. Like, this was 11 years ago, me walking into a gym, or 11 years ago, walking to the gym and going, I'm out of shape. I need to do something, and getting into this. So we'll see what 2024 brings. Hopefully going to, the Commonwealths and the Worlds, which is going to be in South Africa 1 week after the other. So 2 big events, and I'm sure they planned it that way. So people traveling for Commonwealths, if they're masters, they can go to Worlds. Like, I won't get on the ins and outs and the divisions and the age groups and the weight classes and whatever, but so there'll be 2 big events. But on the Power Platform side, of course, oh man, we did a lot. Like, presented at European Power Platform Conference, did a session there. Also a Nordic Summit, Resco next. We've talked about these. I went to Microsoft Power Platform Conference this year. Was not a speaker because it was part of that. I didn't submit as a community member. I submitted through Microsoft, and again, there's only so many spots, so it didn't get selected, which is okay because there's a lot of great speakers, like yourself included, that were selected. So it was a great conference. And it was nice. I didn't have no responsibilities. Didn't have to do anything.
That's not true. We did recaps every day. You had to carry all the equipment. You had to cheer on me two times. You had to be front row and center, cheerleading me on, and you had loads of responsibilities. And you had to take care. Bring me coffee. Did very well. You had a lot of responsibilities, I would say.
Okay, fair enough. That's true. That was a lot of fun. I totally enjoyed that. And then, of course, then I was part of Microsoft. Left Microsoft, become independent. Absolutely love it. Totally happy that I'm back doing. I mean, the time at Microsoft was fun, but I'm really loving being independent, working on a project. We're working together on one of the projects, which it's interesting. Like, it's really cool. It's cool. We're building cool stuff together and of course with the rest of the team as well, with a lot of talented people. And I'm having a blast. It's tons of fun. And and then of course, looking forward to next year. Again, like I said, being a participant in ACDC, we are planning the Canadian Power Platform Summit. Still call for speakers. I said last episode, I thought mid-December was the deadline, but it's actually January 15th. So
you had me stressing out there for a second.
It was for everybody. Like,
right,
everybody else knew. 15 is the end call for submissions. We're looking at sponsors. We've talked to quite a few great companies already to be potential sponsors, but there's still room if you have a company and you want to sponsor Canadian Power Platform Summit, which will be in Vancouver in March, definitely. Other things that I have sessions. Dynamics Minds. I have 2 sessions selected for Dynamics Minds. Still might be some more. Hoping to do here's my online pitch. I'm hoping to do a workshop there as well. They're asking about that because they've added a pre-day workshop day. So hoping to be involved in that. We'll see. We'll see about European Power Platform Conference. We'll see about Color Cloud. See about Microsoft Power Platform Conference. I'll probably be submitting sessions to all of those, or I have submitted sessions to a couple of them, and we'll see. Hopefully we'll be selected. But if not, I'm sure there's a lot of other great people that will be delivering on that. And yeah, we'll see what else 2024 brings. How about yourself? What was your year like, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, yeah, 2023 has been a blast. It allowed me to reconnect with the community, kind of introduced to the community again, and I've loved every second of it. So just connecting with you at ACDC and starting up this podcast, of course, is one of the top things of the year. Dublin with the EPBC kind of gave me that community feeling that I got from Scottish Summit in 2022. Seeing that community love in Europe, it's something special. So if you haven't been to a community event in Europe yet, it's definitely something you need to do, because it has a special vibe. I can't really describe it, but there's a special kind of community love that comes through at these European events. I don't find that anywhere else. So just a shout out. And then I was very nervous during the summer because I knew that it was going to be a very busy fall, and I was right. With Nordic Summit, first of all, you came over and you stayed the following week, and we had some workshops here and in some internal upskilling here in Itera, and then we went off to Vegas with MPPC, and of course, Vegas was an experience in of itself. Being picked to do 2 sessions at the world's biggest Power Platform event is. I'm never going to forget that experience. And it's kind of one of those, I think, milestones in my career as well. I loved every second of it. And of course, spending time with you in Vegas, going to Grand Canyon, doing the tattoo, so many fun things. And they're also seeing all the community people again, and made some friends for life. And gets all warm and fuzzy, and all the people that I now know and connected with. So yeah, just... yeah, it's really nice. And then, of course, going back to Norway and doing a lot of conferences here, a lot of local things, got to travel to see a bit of my own country. Went to Narvik, went to Trondheim, and saw a lot of the beautiful nature that's here, and met a lot of people outside of the Power Platform community. So meeting up with the technologists and developers in Trondheim, and connecting with the travel community in Narvik. That was also a very good experience, kind of getting some other perspectives on tech and the little bubble that we live in. It's very small when you kind of connect with the real world outside of it, just to get that perspective also that there's so many people that actually are stuck in this folder and in paper world that we don't really recognize anymore. Right. So just a bit of a humbling experience as well to go meet someone that deals with paper every day.
So here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to point out these places on a map?
No.
Sorry.
Not a chance.
I'm just teasing.
I know. And I honest to God, I can't. I think I know Trondheim. I think I have a pretty good idea. But other than that, I'm sorry. I just have no idea. I know it's, I should have.
This is a thing we chat about. I tease you about that, and I apologize. It's all in good fun about how you say you go into a plane and they just shake you up like a little box, and the plane lands and you're somewhere else.
And then I walk out, and then I have fun, and then I go in the middle box, and they shake me, and then I'm home again.
Yeah, I think we were on the plane when we were flying to Las Vegas from Norway. Like at one point, I remember poking you, and I said, "Like we're over Canada right now. We're flying over it."
Looked out the window, go, oh, right,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Snow, mountains, whatever.
Snow and water and mountains and trees. Wow, yeah, nice.
Could be Norway.
Could have been Norway.
Yeah,
very similar. And of course, yeah, we did these podcast episodes throughout the year. I do also do Portal Lunch every quarter. There's internal workshops, and we also deliver customer projects. So of course, it's been a busy year, and it's continuing into the next year. I also have 2 small children. My 5-year-old started school this fall, so been a blast to see him learning how to read and write and count. And he's such a curious kid. It's so fun to see. And then, of course, my 10-year-old, she broke her foot twice. So it's not like I'm completely on my own and have 24 hours to do whatever I want with. There is some responsibilities there at home as well. Having a husband, and he takes some time also, in fact. And then, yeah, I don't have a life other than these things. So that, I don't know. Tells you a lot about me, I guess, and running and music, and that's it. No, but next year I think it's going to be equally exciting, and I'm going to travel probably even more than I did this year, but maybe have a bit more of a strategic plan of what I want to do. So, of course, ACDC are going to be a participant. I'm going to step down. I'm not going to be. This is my last year in the committee for ACDC, and I'm actually joining Nordic Summit Committee instead. So I'm going to be part of the organizing committee of Nordic Summit going forward. I'm so excited about that. Really high hopes for that. Nordic Summit is coming to Oslo in September. It's going to be awesome. And then I know I'm going to go to Iceland this year. I'm going to go to Seattle for MEP Summit. I'm going to go to Canada, to Vancouver for Canada. Yeah, for Canadian Summit.
Awesome.
Color Cloud, maybe. There's going to be some Denex user groups, community conferences here. EPBC, hopefully. Brussels this year.
Yep.
Right?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. And of course, Nordic Summit in Oslo. And hopefully back to Vegas for NPPC. We'll have to see. So yeah, pretty excited about this year as well.
Yep, it doesn't stop. And of course, I think the news and updates are going to keep coming every couple weeks. And of course, we're going to keep doing the podcast every 2 weeks, every Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Or not every second.
Every second week.
Yes.
Yeah. And I see that, I think this is maybe my fault because we always add the date for the next episode in the show notes that we have. Sorry, our internal notes. And it says January 27th. I'm not sure if that's right.
No, that was a typo, I think. I think you meant that this episode's coming out on, this is the thing, this is coming out in December 27th. So it'll be after Christmas. And then the following episode will be January 10th.
Right, exactly.
So there
you go.
We're all sorted now. So 21 episodes in this year, and we're going to do, and then of course we're just going to keep on going because this is so much fun.
This is so much fun, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. I'm going to keep it going next year as well. And we're going to beat the Up podcasts. How many episodes did they do you think? Do you remember?
The Up podcast went for 2. Now they did it every week.
Yeah.
And 2 years. I think they went for 2 years. So we'll definitely we'll get by that for sure.
Yeah. Easy.
Cool.
All right. Well, have a wonderful Christmas, Nick. I'll see you around on all the different channels that we chat at, and see you on work tomorrow, probably.
Yep. bright and early. Another early morning. This is This is the funny thing. Tomorrow we have some early meetings because we're in the middle of a sprint changeover, going from one sprint to another. So there's sprint planning and stuff. And I told the project manager, I said, I know I'm 6 hours out of whack, but feel free to book them that fits for everybody because we have a lot of, it's like herding cats, right? So for one-offs, it's fine. There was one, I did a meeting for another client this morning at 5 a.m., which is fine. As long as it's not a regular thing.
It's fine for one-offs, but you can't do that. Then you have to move here. Blink, blink.
Sure. Yeah. That's a discussion for another day.
It is. I'm just teasing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, and a huge thank you to all of you who actually listen to us going on our rants and our, mansplaining and womansplaining and everything. Poor audio quality and videos are everywhere, and the different boost quests and all the love and comments and likes and shares. And you know what? We would probably do this regardless of anyone listening. But the fact that you actually listen in to us talking, and it just means the world to us. So just a huge, huge thank you to every single one of you who listens.
Yeah, like I mean, I think we were in Dublin when we did that pre-day, and someone came up wanted a selfie with us because like, oh, I listened to your podcast. And then last week I was given a presentation, and I was telling you this before we went on air about how someone I was doing a presentation, and I kind of mentioned we do this podcast, and someone in the chat window said, "Oh, I listen to you on the way to work every second Wednesday." Like, oh, like stuff like that is so cool.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
appreciate
I
it.
really love that. And absolutely, if you have some comment or you have some suggestions what we could do or topics we need to cover, or you have news, or you created this amazing blog post that you're very proud about, just send it to us and just share your feedback, and good and bad, we can take it. So
Yep,
it's up to you.
we're used to we used to tough love. We do inflict that on each other sometimes too.
Yeah, more this way than the other way. But so yeah, you can work on that as well. If you have any suggestions or feedback, Nick, you're welcome to share it with me. I can
Sure,
take it. I'm a tough girl.
I know.
And now we've actually gone 4 minutes overtime. We were going perfectly on time, and then started to go on about this. It's worth it.
Yep,
It's worth taking 4 more minutes just to say how appreciative we are of you. So thank you so
totally.
much. And thank you also for sharing this with someone you like, and for being here. And this is it for this year for the Power Platform Boost podcast. And see you on the other side. And
See you in January.
Merry Christmas and
Merry.
Happy New Year. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.